episode of Oregon Life.
Thanks for
right?
watching this episode
of Oregon Life.
Hello, I'm Frank Caruso, producer of Oregon Life, and welcome to a brand new episode. This is part one of a two-part episode that will follow each other. I got to visit with Alex Haunty, an incredible artist, entrepreneur. It was an amazing time spending time sitting down with Alex, seeing his artwork. Now, he is going to be a part of the 14 South tour coming in September, so you've got to get to his studio and see his work. It's really amazing. Now, Alex is a true entrepreneur, a big dreamer. He tap dances. He has a fund that he set up to take people with disabilities to the Overture Center and see Broadway plays. I mean, who's doing stuff like that? I was proud to interview him and sit down with him. He said something during our interview where he refers to his mother and father, and he has many mentors and friends and a loving community that believe in him. But he said, eyes that can instead of eyes that can't. Meaning the people that were with him and love him, especially his parents, they saw him, believed in him, and, you know, he does it on his own. I mean, he is really a true entrepreneur. So enjoy this episode, part one of Alex on Oregon Life.
My name is Mary Beth Haunty, and I am Alex Haunty's mom. And we have an organization called Inspiring Hope Ministries. And the reason why we have that name is because my son, well, he was very young and wasn't growing. He wasn't able to eat. When he was young, he wasn't talking. We couldn't get him to walk. And there were so many difficulties, and he had many struggles. And of course, the doctors wanted to test him. And so he had this experience, or we did, where he went to be tested. And I have all these dreams about my son, and the doctor at that point was he stood up and he said to me, "You have got to understand that you have too much hope for your son, that is not who he's going to be. You have to understand that maybe he might be able to clean, and you have stopped this, you know, who you think he is." And it was one of those moments where my husband stood up and he just walked out of the room and said, "My son is going to employ people like you." And that was what his word on it was. But, you know, it was very devastating to me. But I had to come up with something that would help me move forward. So I was like, how do I do that? And I was like, I'm going to pray that everything that God had in mind for my son when he thought of him, I would agree for. And that was my whole pattern every day in my life with him. And I would speak words about you are going to, you know, who he was going to be and how he was going to grow and who he was and his identity over him every night. And, but, you know, the truth of it was when someone thought maybe to do art with him, I was like, well, he doesn't even know how to draw a circle or a square. You know, it was like, that was the part of the test, right? Can he draw a circle? Can he draw a square? Can he do these things? And so, you know, it was a lot in my heart to try to come to hope, because if you don't have hope, it's very hard to go forward. And I was raising a family and I was like, I have got to have hope. And that's why we have Inspiring Hope, because we're trying to help families that have gone through similar challenges and try to encourage us in our journey of hope, because that's how we move forward. And so Alex is our first Inspiring Hope, but there's others that have come along, and we've learned that many people have a story like that. It was an era. It wasn't now. We have wonderful doctors too, and we have many people, and I always want to say that. We always have wonderful people that cheer us on. Somehow those negative words that come to families, those are very hard to overcome. And so that's what is important. We're dreaming big and going and partnering with whatever he had. So he wanted to sing, so we gave him voice lessons, and he wanted to learn piano, so we gave him piano lessons. And, you know, each step of the way was like, well, we'll just partner with this and see where it goes. And so I just want to encourage people in having hope. And Alex, really, I mean, This was what I thought when he was young. And when he handed me that first painting of Flower Works, I cried. I mean, I had no idea that plethora of emotion was in him. Didn't know that. He had never taken art like that. And so I was like, wow, that's inside. And I wanted to know more of what was inside. So that's why painting became such an important tool. And we just are excited about everything he brings to life.
Hi, my name is Alex Haunty. I'm an artist and inspiring art by Alex. And I like to paint. And with the paintings I make, I like to take people with disabilities to see a Broadway show at the Overture Center. Growing up, in my childhood, that I had some obstacles and that I had to overcome, and my parents, I had lots of wonderful people that helped me along the way in my journey, and like my parents, were definitely were there and that helped me, and they were like the first people that saw me with eyes that can instead of eyes that can't. My first painting I painted was called Flower Works, and I had some flowers in front of me I looked at from like Van Gogh, and I drew them, looking at them, and drew them on the canvas and painted it. And I like using bright, whimsical colors. And then I ended up giving it the original to my mom. Why I gave Flower Works to my mom is because I used the color yellow in it. And my mom's favorite color is yellow. So, yeah, and the artist that, or teacher that helped me with that painting was Kathy Ostrom, and she helped me look at George O'Keeffe and Van Gogh, and she really was the first person that saw me as an artist. So thank you, Kathy Ostrom.
Watching this episode of Oregon Life.
Thanks for
right?
watching this
Episode of Oregon Life.